From Superman, Batman, Iron Man, and all of the superheroes, to Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, and religious figures, society creates messianic figures to give us hope and to inspire us. Their heroicism inspires us to be our best selves, and their stories bring us joy and make us a community during hard times. Messianic figures are myths and legends we hold in our hearts to give hope and teach morals to us throughout all generations. Superheroes, myths, and messianic figures are created to give societies hope during hard times. The most popular stories these days are superheroes which were created within the last 80 years. Heroes like Superman, Batman, Captain America, and so many more came out of the turmoil right around the two world wars. Then a second wave came 20 years later during the Cold War. One character from this time was Iron Man, who was created so the audience would hate him at first because he's a weapons dealer, he's rich, and a jerk, and after time grow to like him. These heroes were created not only as propaganda to change people's opinions, but also to give people hope. But the superheroes I am most interested in are biblical heroes, and the subject of why we have them, faith and religion. From Moses to Noah to Joseph of Nazareth to St. Paul the Apostle, and of course Jesus of Nazareth, all of these people show up in the Bible, and their stories bring hope to billions of people who believe in them to this day. The Bible is composed of 66, 73, or 78 books, depending on what version you use, that are filled with stories of God sending people to save their society from whatever hardships the people were experiencing at that time. The story of Moses tells how Moses was born in the midst of oppression of the Hebrews, was adopted by Pharaoh's daughter, and grew up to be called by God to save the Hebrews from slavery and lead them to freedom. The story is still used to this day to give people hope during oppression. Another great story is of Noah, who was called by God to build an ark to save all the good people and animals that are left on a planet that's filled with corruption and violence. This story reminds us that we can trust God and that He keeps His promises. Both of these stories, along with the rest of the stories in the Bible, have become legends that give us hope and help us to grow our faith. But we can't forget about the biggest Bible story of all, Jesus Christ, the Son of God, being born on earth to save everyone. After being born in the middle of nowhere, in a manger, and into a poor family, the Son of God preached to people and gathered a following. Over time, He found some enemies, and at the end, they crucified Him. It brings hope for all who are oppressed, lonely, isolated, and all who are struggling. Some people argue that Bible stories and God altogether are not real and are just legends, just like superheroes, Santa, and the Easter Bunny. So back in November, I sat down with a friend of mine who is a very faithful Catholic to talk about how faith bridges the gap and makes us believe.
Is religion made up?
No, it is not. There's just no way it's not. How could you explain miracles or people hearing God talk to them or certain unworldly experiences if God does not exist, if religion does not exist? What purpose do we have here?
Legends and faith bring meaning to our lives, and without it, our hearts feel empty.
Why does the world need a savior? I feel that the world needs a savior, or at least the idea of a savior, so that people have something to believe in, and so that gives them a sense of security, of hopefulness that everything will be alright.
So side note about me, I'm a musician and a composer. In fact, I'm getting my degree in music composition from here. Anyway, last December, I was having a really hard time, struggling in my faith, and my mental health was dying, so I wrote a song and recorded it last month with Aman. This refrain talks perfectly about human existence and why we need a savior to fill the void in our hearts. do you think specifically of the first line of the refrain, "Out of the depths I cry to you, O Lord"?
Out of the depths, that makes me think out of the depths of darkness, crying out to the Lord to bring you back up into the light. So when there's a bunch of crap that you're going through, things that just aren't going your way, you can call out to the Lord and He will be there for you, and He will make everything brighter, everything all right, everything better.
Yeah, I love prayer. I love talking to God. Like, He really listens to you and answers your prayers.
Faith makes these legends go from being just a legend to being a friend you can talk to and find comfort in. It becomes a living hope inside of you that constantly brings hope to whatever you're going through.
I personally believe religion gives me purpose. It gives me meaning to my life and what I'm striving to do, following His commandments, being a better person, being a good disciple.
And this goes for the whole season of Christmas too, with the legend of Santa bringing gifts to well-behaved children on Christmas Eve.
Well, we did have a St. Nicholas, which is where the idea of Santa Claus came from. But like, that man did make wooden toys for the kids, and it was about giving hope to kids who didn't really have much. So right now, for Santa Claus, like, it's to give hope to kids, like, to try striving to be good people when they're so little and don't have a great understanding of the world, and to give them motivation, like, oh my gosh, like, if I'm good, I can get gifts.
Christmas, along with religion and faith and other beliefs, bring meaning to our lives and give us something to live for. Legends and faith fill the hole in our hearts, and the belief in them bring us together as a community during hard times.